The coasters are out. That means it's Wednesday and we're coasting through the week. And I have these beautiful napkins that I'm going to be using to put inside. And we're going to use some Mod Podge. Let's go play. Hello everyone, I'm Lula and welcome to NerdGoblinart. Right, I have these beautiful napkins that are Frida Khalos. She is one of my favourite artists, and I've got a few of these napkins left over from one of the birthdays. So I've never put napkins, so obviously these are paper napkins. I have never put paper napkins into resin before, so it's a first time for me, and it's it's a bit of trial and error. First of all, I pulled out the coaster I did recently with the same mould, and I started drawing around them, and I decided to keep it in just to show you my process, really. So drawing around them with some pencil, and I was gonna do the painstaking task, of cutting them out in the same shape. I had a thought about this for a few moments, and then I decided not to do that. I realised that my large Let's Resin cups are a really good size, and I was just checking to make sure that they did indeed fit the size of the original coasters. So just drawing around with a pen, and I'm just going to cut slightly inside that circle. I'm quite happy to have a little bit of colour around the edges of the actual coaster, because I just want it for, just for looking cool, really. I want a bit of the colour. I want it to be framed almost. So I'm just taking off the layer. I'm not sure if that's a must or if that was needed, or if I should have left it on. I don't know. Like I said, I've not done this before. So both of them are cut out, and I'm going to be using Mod Podge. You can use any sealant, I guess. I happen to have this, so it's where I'll use, school PVA, all those kind of things. As long as it dries clear, you're doing good. So because of how thin they are, I decided to get some white card. So I'm going to glue these to the white card, and then I'll cut them out. And I'm going to give them 2 coats, both front and back. I'm an impatient sort. I don't like waiting. And I really, really dislike having to wait for things like glue to dry. But thankfully, the Mod Podge is actually quite a fast one for drying. I do particularly like using Mod Podge when I do any decoupaging, which I find incredibly relaxing. So I'm just giving it a coat over. I don't mind if it causes any form of wrinkles or slight distress. I really don't mind, as long as I'm able to put them into the make. So I will give these 2 coats, both front and back. So whilst they're drying, I'm going to use these foils, just different colour foils. I'm trying to implement a few of the colours that are on the actual image on the napkin. And I wanted to make it a little bit fun and colourful, because although this is on the back, I want the back to be interesting as well, because you never know, you might want to turn the coasters over. maybe I might have a desk. Oh my goodness, words. I may have a guest who visits, and they may not like Frida, which, how awful, because, you know, everyone should like her art, at least. It's really funky, cool stuff. And she has a very interesting story, which I really, really recommend you check out. You know, interesting stuff. I like those sort of things. But yeah, so I wanted to make the backs look interesting as well, so I decided to do this. I did this, I don't think I can call it a technique. It's basically throwing in foils, isn't it? But I did this when I did the Valentine collaboration, and I made a large tray with skulls. And I enjoyed doing it, and I haven't done it since, and I just wanted to do it again, and on a smaller scale. So there we are. So I've added in gold, blue, and like a purpley colour. I was kind of hoping for like an orangey, burnt orange. I did consider putting the rose type gold in, but I did find a reddish type. There we go. Well, it is red. It is red, to pop on. So just placing them, and because I'm just popping them all in, I'm not worried about positioning. I'm not worried where it lands, because I'll be getting a brush and just burnishing these in. And any, you know, and any mess, it is easily clear. It is a pain in the backside, this stuff. Anybody who's ever used foils know how bad they are to get up. They are awful, but I do like what you can do with them, but they are awful. They stick to everything. I purposely didn't put gloves on, because I'm always getting it all stuck to my gloves, and this was even sticking to my fingers. Oh well. Apparently I have sticky fingers. I'm the sticky bandit, whatever. So just burnishing in, I'm just using one of just a brush that has a firm. This is firm. That's what she said. So I'm just making sure that it's nice and brushed in, and you can just tip out any bits and pieces that don't want to stick. Sometimes you get bits that just don't want to stick to it, even if you're moving it round to where there is space. But that's not a problem, because I can just fill in any spaces with some mica powder, and that can just stick to the areas where the foil didn't want to go. I'm making sure as well that I'm getting around the sides, because I think it's going to give like an interesting effect along the edges of this mould as well. I'm using bright gold from Let's Resin mica powders, and that's just to fill in any areas where any of that foil didn't want to stick. And I'm making sure, as you can see, I'm not only going over the base, but I'm going round the sides also. So while I'm busy doing this, I just want to thank all my subscribers for your likes, comments and shares. I truly appreciate it. And if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. It costs nothing, and it just helps my channel. It helps my channel grow, and it just allows me to get out more content, which I really enjoy and love doing. Now that's done, all I need now is some gloves, and just like that, magic. But I need to sort that out now. I'm using Apex resin from Apex, and I'm just going to be popping in around 6 fluid ounces, because I don't want the mould filled all the way to the top, because of course the napkins are going to be going in, and then we'll be giving them a top coat as well. So I'm using the dual head mixer from Resiners. Thoroughly enjoying this mixer. It is doing so well, and it's helping me a lot. I've mentioned a few times about having some physical issues, and it really does make a difference with any pain. So I'm using dark violet, and I'm going to add this in once the resin is thoroughly mixed. I'm happy with that, and I'm going to use the mixer again because this mixer has the silicone paddles, and it's really saving on my wrist mixing in, and also I'm getting a lot less bubbles when using the paddles instead of using my own hand to mix things in. And I'm also going to add some of my favourite glitter, the Diamond Frost, and I will add this into my description box if you fancy having a go with it. It is really pretty. It's not a, I wouldn't say it's a non-sink, but it does a really good job, and it really looks pretty in the resin. And so far I've been using this mixer for nearly 2 weeks now, and I have no complaints. The only thing I can suggest is it would be cool if there was an AI function, so that, you know, it does maybe do a mix for 4 minutes and it beeps to tell you that it's done. That would be the only thing that I could really add to it. Super easy to clean. I've used green in there, black in there. I've just used this dark violet. It cleans up really well, and if it doesn't come off great with a wipe, I've popped it in soapy water and it's come up lovely. So there you go. I've just sprayed the mould with some isopropyl alcohol, and I'm fine with doing that. I don't usually, if it's like the mica powder's fully in there, but because that's burnished in pretty good, I decided just to give her a pre-spray. And as I said, I'm not filling these moulds all the way to the top because we have Frida napkins to put in there. And I'm also going to make sure as well, it's always a good idea with specifically these type of moulds. It's not so bad with the circular ones, but because these ones are the geode type shape, bubbles do like to hang around into the corners. So just using a silicone tool, you can go around the edges, and even if you are filling these to the top straight away, make sure you do it at the halfway point, because it's just going to make a mess. So, you know, stop what you're doing, use a silicone tool just to go around the edges to encourage any bubbles up, and then add the rest of your resin if you are filling them straight away. It just makes life easier. It really, really does. So round I go, can give it another spray with some isopropyl alcohol and use my heat gun, and it just is a nice combination, I think. And I'm really loving this colour. I think I've used it as a mix with something else before, but I can't remember. I'm going to have to try and remember, because there was definitely a colour combination that I wanted to revisit. And as usual, I overestimated how much resin I would need. So I've always got a little basket of moulds nearby that I can just reach into, and I can just pour anything that I really want if I have any extras that I can do. So I've just grabbed my Snoopy mould. I found this on Temu. It's not listed as Snoopy, but there you are. Right, I'm joining you from another area of my studio because I have another project going on my desk at the moment. So I've managed to catch the coasters at their slightly sticky stage. So I've fully cut around the Frida napkins, taking out the white, and popped those down. So I'm mixing up some resin, and I'm going to add some Diamond Frost to the mix as well. I'm not adding loads to it, and that is because that that glitter can really take over and interfere with any pictures that you might have if you are doing this type of thing with coasters. So and don't worry, I'm aware I've made up a lot of resin there. Don't worry, I have another project that I'm working on, and you know that I never ever waste any resin. So I'm just making sure that it's all dispensed. That's the other word I'm looking for. I don't know anymore. But as you can see, I'm just using my silicone tool to make sure we're getting to all the way to the ends of the mould and over that. And I think they're going to look wonderful. I know it's not a big reveal when you do stuff like this, but it is interesting to see if it's actually worked. Because, you know, after a few hours, I've done paper before in a mould, but not tissue, and I failed. I think I've learned from that mistake. So these are all cured. I'm going to take Snoopy out first, and this is going to be a magnet for my fridge. So he's so pretty. There's such a sparkle in there. It's such a pretty colour. Really, really like it. So as I said, there's not a huge reveal with these, but you do get to see what the backs look like. And that's cool, isn't it? But, you know, they're really pretty. Little bit of a bubble by there, but I'm not worried at all. And yes, I've stained my mould. But check that out. It's so pretty. I think that colour really goes with the napkin, and I'm so pleased that when I took the tent off them and these napkins hadn't faded at all. I think definitely going forward, popping them onto the white card and doubling the Mod Podge both front and back was perfect. So that's my deburring tool. You can get these from Amazon or places like Temu. This one is from Temu. I've got no complaints with it, and I really like using it. When I first got it, it was like, I don't like this, it's awful. But I soon started getting the hang of it, and it really is a great little tool to have in your, in your toolkit. When it comes to being a resin artist and such. Yes, you can continue to use a craft knife, but personally, I've said it before, and I do joke about it, but I really am a liability. I am very, very good at getting myself cut. You can cut yourselves with these deburring tools, definitely, but they are a little bit easier to use. But I'm so pleased with this. I'm like thinking of all the napkins I've seen in the supermarket that would look amazing. So I love them. And I really love the backs as well. It's so pretty, and that colour is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm pleased that I didn't have as much overage as I thought I was going to. They were on my other workspace, and even though they were on a balance table on there as well, I think something's gone on there with the. I checked it was centralized, but I didn't like how we were sitting. So once I finished with the project that I was working on, I made room for, and I very carefully transferred these coasters over to there as well. But I'm so pleased. Aren't they? The colours are beautiful. They're so nice. And I'm really pleased with the back. I think it looks really funky. Funky, yeah. I'm introducing the word funky. We're bringing back funky. So there we go. And we've got my Snoopy as well. And I'm going to glue a magnet on the back of him. I'm probably going to have to put on maybe 2. I've only got small ones. So, yeah, I thought you can go on the fridge because I love Snoopy. Snoopy is my favourite. I still have my Snoopy dog from when I was a toddler that my grandparents bought me. And look at the sparkle. Can you see that? And that is in the coasters as well. I hope you enjoyed watching. It worked. I'm happy. And I hope you check out everyone else's Coasting Through the Week videos. Love you and stay weird.
Each creature born from a magic night. Nerd Goblin paints life in every brush. Animals frolic in a vibrant rush. From canvases to tales they leap, in a realm where fantasy meets deep. The studio's alive with swirling paint. Creatures so pure they need no saint. Sketches of foxes with tails of light. Badgers with moonlit fur and